Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Our mission, well, it's always the same, isn't it? We take your source material
Yep, the dense research, the surprising facts, all those key insights.
and we basically distill it, get right down to the absolute essence.
It's the shortcut to being, well, really well informed on something specific.
So today, we're diving deep into the world of air travel,
Hmm.
but maybe not the parts you first think of. We aren't talking about, the newest destinations or how fast the jets are.
No, this is different. We're focusing entirely on the people. That hidden human factor that will really smooth the whole journey. Starts right there on the ground.
Yeah, the airport itself.
Exactly. We're looking at airports as these really exceptional places. The sources paint them as almost like movie sets.
Little cities, almost.
Yeah, temporary little cities where you see just intense human drama playing out.
Oh, absolutely. You see the whole range, don't you? People rushing, maybe some tears.
Huge hugs at arrivals, nervous laughter at departures.
You can shop, eat, meet people from everywhere.
They're really emotional places, but built on this foundation of like high-stakes logistics.
And within that whole environment, the global movement, the, let's face it, frequent stress, there's this one really consistent, crucial element.
Right.
The one that acts as the kind of universal emotional regulator.
And that's the cabin crew.
Exactly.
Precisely. So our deep dive today, it really focuses on the essential role of the cabin crew, particularly the air hostesses and the power of their specific kind of professionalism and, well, kindness.
It's not just customer service then.
Not at all. This is really an investigation into what the sources call the emotional labor of air travel.
Emotional labor.
So understanding that is really key to understanding why flights often feel safe, or at least managed, even when the background logistics are frankly chaotic.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then, because what immediately stands out, just thinking about it, is that huge emotional pivot, right?
Mm.
That moment you step onto the aircraft. And it seems like it's entirely down to the crew.
It really is.
I mean, before you even get near the gate, you've probably gone through that universal ritual, the security check.
Oh yeah. Shoes off, belt off, laptop out.
You might have been barked at. You're scrambling to get your stuff together. That whole process, it sort of makes you feel rushed, maybe a bit on edge, highly vigilant.
It definitely demands a kind of intense seriousness, doesn't it?
It does.
The sources note how quickly everyone just shifts into this state. You're self-monitoring, hyper-focused on following every single rule.
Yeah.
It's an environment of, external control, and that creates this low-level background anxiety for almost everyone, I think.
But then you cross the threshold. You step onto the plane.
And the whole atmosphere just shifts instantly.
That hypervigilance you had meets the crew's first point of contact. Usually that really warm greeting, good morning, sir, welcome aboard, that sort of thing.
And that contrast, well, it's not accidental. It's a deliberate strategy.
Really?
Yeah, one host is quoted in the materials. She said they're trained to be always smiling
Always smiling.
because it's an active strategy to mitigate emotion. The psychological function is essential. They project calmness so you, the passenger, feel relaxed.
Ah, I see. It's like a visual cue.
Exactly. It says, okay, you can stop scanning everything now. We've got this. We're in control here.
But I wonder, does that deliberate, constant warmth, does it ever risk feeling a bit, I don't know, inauthentic? Or maybe even grating if you're a jaded traveler?
That's a fair question.
It must be exhausting to keep that up, right? Especially on like a 12-hour flight, maintaining that surface emotion.
Well, you've hit on the core of emotional labor there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's critical to acknowledge that fatigue.
So what is emotional labor exactly?
It basically means the employee has to manage or suppress their own internal feelings
Okay.
in order to display the emotion the organization requires on the outside.
Hey.
It's sometimes called surface acting.
Surface acting.
And for the cabin crew, that required emotion is just unwavering competence and calm, always.
So it's not just being polite out of habit, it's a managed thing, a trained expectation.
Absolutely.
How do the sources connect that, though, that standard of labor? How does it connect directly to passenger safety, beyond just making the mood nicer?
Well, the sources show that consistent calm is actually a regulated part of the safety system itself.
How so?
Think about it. If you, as a passenger, see a crew member looking stressed or annoyed or panicked,
That wouldn't be good.
right, that immediate visual signal of distress, it can escalate passenger anxiety incredibly quickly. Contagion effect.
So the smile, the easy tone, it's like Infrastructure.
That's a great way to put it. Emotional infrastructure.
Yeah.
It minimizes your cognitive load as a passenger. It allows you to focus better on, say, the safety announcements, and generally helps maintain order.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me. Professionalism under intense pressure.
Right.
We're moving beyond just the normal demands of service now and thinking about those situations that need extreme patience, absolute competence.
Absolutely. And think about the sheer variety of pressures they face, often all at once.
Yeah, like what?
Well, they're managing hundreds of different personalities, all crammed into a pressurized metal tube.
Thousands of feet in the air.
Exactly. That alone demands serious emotional fortitude. Imagine handling someone who's being aggressive or just plain rude.
While having to stay completely composed and polite yourself.
Yes, and that's exhausting cognitive work right there. Empathy fatigue is real.
And then their job just expands massively during any kind of crisis, right? We tend to think of the pilots as the crisis managers.
Which they are, of course, from the cockpit.
But the crew on the floor, in the cabin, they're the ones we see. They're the visible anchors.
Absolutely. Take the classic example. Severe turbulence.
Oh, yeah. Everyone hates that.
That moment when the plane drops suddenly, the overhead bins rattle. Fear can spread like wildfire. One traveler in the sources recalled this flight where the anxiety was just palpable. You could feel it.
What did the crew do?
They didn't run and hide in the galley. They moved through the cabin, calmly, reinforcing safety instructions, talking softly, saying things like, "It's okay, please stay seated, we're quite all right."
Wow.
Their job, right then, is to project stability, total stability, so that passengers don't panic and potentially hurt themselves or others.
That confidence they project, that must be the key difference between just manageable stress and actual chaos on board.
It really is.
What about situations beyond just, like, flight discomfort? The sources mention medical emergencies, too. That's a whole different level.
Yes, and the scope of their duty is just massive. They aren't just serving drinks and snacks, they're trained first responders.
Really? To what level?
Well, one source described an incident pretty serious where a passenger had a severe allergic reaction mid-flight, anaphylaxis.
Oh, wow. What happened?
The crew member immediately recognized the signs, alerted the pilots, coordinated with them, and crucially, located the onboard medical kit.
They have those.
Oh, yes. And administered an EpiPen, following guidance they likely received remotely. So they're managing food service, safety demos, and acute medical crises.
That's incredible.
It's not just technical skill. It's about maintaining emotional safety under extreme duress.
And thinking about pressure, we should probably also include things like technical delays, right? Or logistical nightmares that have nothing to do with the flight itself.
Oh, definitely.
But the crew ends up absorbing all the passenger frustration.
This is where that cost of emotional labor becomes really, really evident.
How so?
Imagine you're stuck on the tarmac for 3 hours, maybe more. The crew becomes the lightning rod for all that generalized passenger anger.
Anger that's really aimed at the airline or the airport or the weather.
Exactly. But it gets deflected onto the nearest human representative, the crew member.
And yet they still have to keep smiling.
They have to keep offering water, updating information as best they can, and projecting, if not optimism, at least calm control. The expectation, as the sources put it, is that they must connect, not just work, even when things are severely delayed and frustrating for everyone.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered the group stress, the big picture stuff, but let's shift focus a bit. Let's talk about those one-on-one interventions. The sources mention specific acts that seem to go beyond just required professionalism
Yes.
into something that feels more like genuine, unforgettable kindness.
These are the moments, I think, that truly show they're often caring, not just serving. And yeah, the source material is full of these really personal exchanges.
The story that stuck with me was the nervous first-time traveler. I found that really relatable.
Describe that one.
Well, picture someone standing there, maybe a bit confused by the boarding line, not sure if their pass scanned right. They just look vulnerable, you know?
Lost.
And the source says a crew member noticed them, didn't just walk past, didn't shout instructions across the aisle.
Right, they approached them.
Yeah. Approached them, guided them through the process really gently, with personal assurance, saying things like, "It's okay, take your time, I'll help you find your seat."
See, that's proactive noticing. It's a human intervention.
It stops confusion turning into panic before the door even closes.
Exactly. And that proactive nature, it extends to helping other vulnerable groups too. The elderly, for example.
Right, you mentioned that.
Yeah, one account detailed a crew member helping an elderly man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, slinging his bag into the overhead bin.
No.
No, it was making sure he was seated comfortably, asking if he needed water before takeoff, pointing out where the restrooms were. Doing all this before the main rush of boarding really hit.
That's thoughtful.
It shows how kindness can function almost like a management tool, stabilizing the environment before potential problems even start.
But I think the most powerful anecdotes, at least for me, always seem to involve children. Kids are like the purest barometer of the emotional environment, aren't they? And dealing with a crying child on a cramped flight that can test everyone's patience. Yours, the parents, the other passenger.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there was this really beautiful account in the sources.
Right.
A little boy, maybe 4 or 5. He was crying just inconsolably.
Why? What was wrong?
He missed his mother. He was traveling with another relative, but he just wanted his mom.
Oh, poor little guy.
And the air hostess didn't ignore it. She didn't just tell the relative to handle it. She immediately knelt down.
Got down on his level.
Exactly. Which is such a powerful psychological connector, right?
Yeah.
Met him eye to eye, gave him small chocolate from her pocket,
A little treat.
and gently called him a brave little traveler.
A brave little traveler. I like
Yeah.
that. And
Did it work? Instantly.
yeah.
The anecdote says he stopped crying almost immediately.
Wow. Just a shift in perspective, a small gesture, and genuine empathy.
It's that universal language of kindness, just restoring calm. Right there. In these highly controlled, often high-stress environments, the crew are these indispensable human touch points
They stop logistical frustrations turning into emotional meltdowns.
through consistent, often trained empathy. Yes.
So, okay, what does this all mean for us, for the travelers going through this experience? We talked about how travel itself teaches patience,
Definitely. Waiting in lines, lugging bags.
handling delays that can sometimes last for hours.
Right. But the sources seem to propose something more, a kind of philosophical takeaway. We learn patience from the process, maybe, but we learn conduct from the crew.
Conduct. How so?
Well, think back to those delays. Even during a draining, say, 4-hour tarmac delay, the sources show the crew constantly trying to manage the mood, cheer people up even,
Offering water or...
offering small comforts, maybe sharing a brief, appropriate joke or just chatting for a moment. They model connection even during adversity.
That's a really strong distinction. They're not just ticking off tasks on a list.
Yeah.
They're engaged in the shared human experience of just trying to get from point A to point B, whatever the hurdles are.
Precisely. And that leads to that analogy shared in the sources.
Yeah.
The idea that the world could really benefit from this specific standard of conduct. It's quite powerful when you think about it.
What was the core idea there?
It is essentially that if everyone treated others with the same level of sustained professionalism, empathy, and patience that good cabin crew show their passengers,
Yeah.
the world would be a much happier place. That's the quote.
Wow.
This, the sources suggest, is the true spirit of travel distilled. Meeting new people, yes, but also practicing kindness, prioritizing connection over conflict, especially under pressure.
That is a remarkable challenge, actually, for all of us to consider, not just when we're flying, but just down here on the ground, day to day. So the next time you travel, the next time you find yourself getting stressed or rushed in an airport or on a plane,
Remember the effort. Remember what goes into maintaining that environment of calm and comfort for you, thousands of feet up in the air.
and maybe do something about it.
Yes, challenge yourself to acknowledge that effort. Don't just shuffle off the plane. Say a specific heartfelt thank you to the crew member who helped you with your bag, or got you that water, or just gave you a genuine smile when you boarded.
Does that really make a difference?
Our sources confirm it does. Those small, genuine acts of gratitude, they profoundly counteract the daily emotional taxation, that surface acting we talked about, that they endure.
So that small act of recognition, it sort of closes the loop, it makes their effort visible, makes it feel valued.
Exactly. It completes the exchange of human kindness.
Okay, so bringing it all together, the final thought.
Well, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, the sources really strongly suggest that kindness, it isn't just some soft skill or a nice little extra.
No.
No, it's fundamental. It's part of the essential infrastructure of safety and connection, especially in complex, potentially stressful systems like air travel.
So kindness has a practical function.
A deeply practical one. The sources effectively prove that even in the highest pressure environments imaginable, kindness can fly higher than any airplane.
Kindness can fly higher than any airplane. I love that. Beautifully summarized.
Thanks. It was fascinating material to dive into.
Thank you for guiding us through the real depth of this emotional labor and the impact of simple kindness. That concludes our deep dive for today. We hope you'll think about the beautiful and powerful people who make our flights special. Until next time.